Hello, daisy chains. Hope you're doing well. Today's video is a little bit of an altar update slash things for new witches to do with their altar that I have found helps me connect with my altar every day. Obviously everyone's craft is a little bit different, so everyone's gonna want to do different things, but for me I feel like I show up to my craft a lot more if I'm actually consistently doing things. So I try to spend at least 10 minutes a day at my altar. Now this is non-scripted, so if I sound a little bit of wibbly wobbly, it's because it's all coming from my head. My head runs at 1,000 miles per hour, so yeah. If you watched my last video all about altar cleaning, you would see that my altar is completely different from how I ended up making it. So we've got the same symmetry vibes from last time, but we haven't really split it up per se. It's a lot more symmetrical this time. We've got a little bit of protective energies on both sides, with the wolf and the dragon being opposite to each other. We have the tarot cards, of course, opposite to each other. Left is the day questions, right is the night questions. And I kept a bit of earth as well with my rose. Of course, I'm really connected to the element of fire, of course, so, you know, we've still got the candles and we've got the incense lit on a rock that I got from the beach in the middle, so change things up a little bit. But, you know, change is a really good thing in my opinion. I did a little crystal grid, which was kind of like my first spell that I did in a while. And I kept a little bit of it there still. Got a lot of like the ocean elements, as well as I feel very, very connected to fire, so we have a lot of candles. I do feel connected to other elements. We've got air, we've got all the elements actually. We've got sea, we've got a lot of earth, a lot of fire, and a tiny bit of air. But yeah, okay, let's get into the actual points. First one, very, very obvious. A lot of witches are going to recommend this, but do your tarot on your altar. I try to do a tarot reading every single day. Every morning, I have a guidance card for the day, which is kind of like, you know, if I need, kind of goes in the name, if I need any guidance throughout the day, I can just go back to my altar and see, okay, this is the card that I got today. So obviously this is kind of like some sort of symbolism for whatever I feel going on in my heart. And at the end of the day, you could also do like a releasing card. So what is it that I need to release from this day? I like to do that. It kind of ties in with the, obviously the day and the night as well, because like the day is all about, you know, kind of growth, taking action, experimentation, whereas the night is more about like settling down, releasing, relaxing. So I don't know, I love to just kind of connect to whatever the cyclical stuff that's kind of going on outside of me, which I don't really consider outside. Like I don't consider nature to be outside of me. I consider, like, people think that humans are so far from nature, which we are because of society and Christianity. I talk a lot about Christianity on this. If you're like a Christian, I'm not talking about you. Of course, have your religion, I respect you, but I'm talking more about like early Christianity. But I mean, you kind of have to be honest. I mean, organized religion is kind of like, a lot of the time it's kind of the cause of like genocides and stuff. It's deep, but anyway, I'm not gonna get into that in this video. We're chilling in this video. But yeah, I love to consider myself a part of nature. Like, so for me, one of my little points that I want to bring in is that when you're going out on walks, whenever you're outside, just kind of have a look around for any organic material that you feel called to, that you want to pick up and put on your altar. Change your altar a lot. Clean your altar a lot. For me, changing is cleaning, so I like to clean, and then I like to release, clean, and change. I don't know, I find like when it's kind of the same way, a lot of the time there's just stagnant energy builds up and builds up and builds up. Whereas if I change it a little bit like more frequently, say every new moon, every full moon, I've got like an energy kind of turning around a lot. So I would highly recommend changing things up a little bit. So go outside, grab your organic material, whatever it could be. It could be a couple of leaves, it could be a little branch, it could be a little twig, it could be flower, anything at all. Specifically if it's fallen from the tree. I wouldn't recommend picking it right off the ground. I mean, if it's kind of like plentiful, like if there's a lot of them, for example, like if you want to pick up a dandelion or a daisy, go ahead, because there's going to be a lot of those. Don't pick up too many, obviously. We need to leave some for the bees and any philo foragers or witches. But pick up one or two and you can bring it back home and put it on your altar, and that's kind of something to get excited about, but you know, it's not going to break the bank in any way. This one is a very, very obvious point because, you know, that's what the altar is all about. But do a little bit of spell work on here. Like I said, every full new moon, those are usually my times, or if there's something significant going on in my life that I want to have a boost for. Recently, personally, I've just been kind of like going along with the flow surrounding to the universe. But I'm trying to figure out I want to do another spell soon. Probably a success spell or a protection spell. I need to make more protection charms because the last protection jar I made like last year, I think. I need an update. I need a bunch of protection. I've got my little pentagram. That's like a couple years old. My protection spell. That's like a year old. Need to come up with a new protection. So you're gonna see a little protection video from me at the end of this month, I'd say. I just kind of look up like the general what does this herb mean? What does this flower mean? What does this crystal mean? And then I figure out, okay, do I want to do a candle spell? Do I want to do a pouch spell? Do I want to do crystal grid? What do I want to do? And then I just kind of use my intuition to kind of guide me along the spell. Of course, you can follow a book. Do whatever you want. Do whatever your intuition is calling for you to do. Go ahead and follow that. And especially if you're a beginner, remember that it's okay to follow like the TikTok witches or whatever it is. You're not gonna die, nothing bad's gonna happen. And I feel like there's a lot of shaming on there, which is kind of what scared a lot of people off. But specifically on TikTok, I mean, information gets spread around very quickly and misinformation gets spread around very quickly. But remember, like, nothing really bad is gonna happen if you end up fucking up in a spell. You can just undo it and you can just invite better energies in, the energies that you're trying to call in. Also, this is something I've only started doing recently, but I've been leaving my kind of money jar on my altar just because of the spiritual energy and because I'm changing things around a lot. It's giving the element of water. Their language kind of goes together. So like people say like cash flow or like whatever. There's a lot of language that coincides money with water. And okay, this is my little brain working. And I feel like water kind of, when it's not still, it's kind of moving around a lot, so I'm moving my altar around a lot, so the energies are kind of like moving, and they're like, that's why I leave my money here, because it's like the metaphysical energies are always going to be there, but they're kind of shifting and changing a little bit, so that means that my money is going to, you know, shift and change a little bit, and hopefully when I invest in better good things are going to come towards me as well. Another thing that I like to do is singing bowl stuff. A lot of people think that meditation is just sitting down and meditating, but you know, meditation is so many other things. I really love to just grab my singing bowl and sing. It doesn't even need to be a song, it can just be any sort of melody. So let me grab it. Let me show you. And kind of connecting to the spiritual energy, especially sitting on the floor, you're closer to the earth. La 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 la. I don't know, it's not like a classified as meditation, but I would honestly classify that as meditation in my own head. I feel like using my voice is a very healing thing for me personally, so if you are feeling called to that, I would definitely recommend doing some sort of vocal toning thing, or singing, or whatever it is, some sort of music noise at your altar. And healing through sound doesn't have to be just singing. It can be screaming, it can be laughing, it can be moaning, it can be anything. But I would highly recommend healing through the element of air, healing through the element of your voice. You might also be wondering, why does she have a mirror here? I'll tell you why I have a mirror here. Because I feel very connected to doing mirror work. I don't know if this is in the traditional sense of witchcraft, but for me, mirror work is looking at myself and trying to reprogram my subconscious. If you can't tell by the kind of words that I'm using, I'm not just into witchcraft solely, I'm actually into new age practices as well. So I like to kind of mix like my new age practices with my witchcraft practices. Just kind of figuring out the thing that works for me, you know, life path one things. We walk our own path, and that's what we're gonna do. So I just kind of figure out what works for me. Obviously, set up your little cleansing center here as well. Just set the intention for the energy to kind of go around the room and cleanse the room. That's why I've got my incense here. Also fire, once again, fire is a very, very cleansing element in my opinion. I mean, it burns away things and it leaves ashes. You can put the ashes into fertilizer and you can use the ashes as compost. It's so magical how Mother Earth has a solution for everything and how we humans can just manipulate that. A lot of the time we have done it for bad, but I want to start seeing it being done for good because that is definitely possible. I hope this video made sense in some sort of way, and if you want me to do a follow-up, I definitely will. Leave your opinion down in the comments and I'll get back to you. And if you really enjoyed this, if you vibe with me, definitely go ahead and subscribe. I will be giving you so many more videos like this, and I will see you guys in a couple days. Bye!